Hello there, it's Jackie Ballheis from Clumpin' Stampers. Are you a new card maker, a brand new card maker? Not sure where to start, not sure what to do? I can teach you everything you need to know to make beautiful, quick and easy cards. Today's video is all about helping you, the new card maker, with all the basics. We are going to talk about stamps, paper, and ink. We're going to cut our cardstock. We're going to stamp our stamps, and we're going to make a beautiful, quick, and easy card. Now, don't worry. If you've been card making for a while, I'm sure I've got some tips sprinkled throughout the video that you will enjoy as well and will help you in your card making. But like I said, this is all about you, the brand new card maker looking to get started making beautiful cards. I'm here to help. I can teach you. Let's get started. So my favorite way to teach a brand new card maker how to make cards is to think in terms of a sip. Start with a sip. We can't, we got to start walking instead of running, or sipping our drink instead of gulping it. So a sip simply stands for stamps, ink, and paper. So we've got our stamps, our ink, and our paper. Now today we are going to use circle sayings for our stamps, and I am going to show you how to just go from this to some beautiful cards. Now we're gonna, set that aside, because we're gonna start actually first with our paper. Even though, I said stamps, ink, and paper, I like to refer to it in that in that order, because I love using the term sip. So stamps, ink, and paper, that's all we need. So for our paper, most of your cardstock is going to come in 8.5 by 11. And if you cut it in half, either at 5.5 that way or 4 1/4 this way, the end result is the same. It will give you a card front that measures 5.5 by 4 1/4. Now, if these measurements have your head spinning, make sure to check out the description of this video, and it will take you to a blog post that will have all the details of what I'm sharing today, as well as link you to some other things that I think will help the brand new card maker get started and be successful card making. So make sure you follow that link and check out all that information. Now, because we've cut that in half, we have 2 cards we can make from that one sheet of 8.5 by 11. We'll just fold it in half, and I like to use my bone folder just because it gives it a crisper edge, or you can score it before you fold it. But there's our standard size card. It is 5.5 by 4 1/4. So that's kind of what we base everything off of. Now, to cut my layers, my brain works kind of weird, to be honest. I always like my layers to be even border all the way around. So I actually have a really easy way, at least it's easy in my head, how I figure that out. And again, the blog post will really explain this better for you and give you some great tools for doing it. But I know I have 5.5 by 4 1/4 to work with. So I like to either make my stamping layer smaller, or, well, actually it's got to be smaller than that, but the same amount smaller on both sides. So if I have 5.5, I'm going to cut this down to 4.5. So it's an inch smaller, right? Stay with me. Now, the other size of our card is 4 1/4. So here again, we will go an inch smaller and cut this at 3 1/4. So you'll see when I lay this on here, it gives me that even border. So we have 5.5, now 4.5, 4 1/4, now 3 1/4. Now for this particular card, I want to stick a layer. Let's see, that was Lemon Lime Twist, and we want to stick a layer of Berry Burst underneath it. So to figure out this layer, I like to go 1/8 of an inch bigger than this one. Okay, so here we went an inch smaller. Now to put a layer behind it, we're going to go 1/8 of an inch bigger. So we were at 4.5. So we're just going to bump it up 2 little lines here for my 1/8. And then we'll turn it this way. And remember, we're at 3 1/4. So I start there and I bump it up just 2 little lines and cut it. And that should be 1/8 of an inch bigger on both sides. If we cut, yep, see how we get that nice little border, and then that is going to fit nicely on my card. So that's what I mean about proportions. It's the same way in both directions. It's just kind of way my brain works. And remember, that blog post will give you a lot more information. Plus, it'll lead you, kind of down a rabbit trail to another video and blog post that will share more about cutting your cardstock. Okay, so that's ready to go on there. Now let's pull out our stamps. We're using circle sayings, and we're going to use a few different ones here. So the first one I want to grab is happy birthday, and we need to put it on our clear block. And when I add my stamps to my clear block, I like to use my grid paper to get them straight. So I'll line that up. I'm looking right through the stamp there. It's on a line. And then when I put my block down on top of it, I line the block up on either a side line or a top line. And that means I should be pretty straight on that block. And then I always like to test it. So I'm going to take my ink pad, lemon lime twist here, and I'll stamp on my grid paper. I'll line up the edge of this block, okay, with an edge on the grid paper there. And when I stamp it, you can see that looks pretty darn straight because I'm looking at the lines through it. So I think I'm good to go on that stamp. And let's see, we also want this one and this one. Now, with a stamp like this, it doesn't matter necessarily, you know, if it's straight on there, but because there's a lot of wiggle room in it, if I just kind of hold it and place it on here, chances are I'm going to distort the shape of it. So what I like to do is just hold it, drop it down, and now it's going to keep its shape and then pick it up. So do that anytime my stamp has that wiggle room. So long, thin ones or circles, because I want to keep it nice and in order there. And then we'll use our cupcake. So first thing I'm going to do for my card is go ahead and create a background on that lemon lime twist. And I am actually using lemon lime ink on lemon lime paper. And we're going to just go ahead, and I'm kind of using the block as my guide here. Or I can see through there, so I can use the top of the stamp. And I don't want to get my head in the way, so hopefully I have these pretty straight for you. And I'm just stamping them down the side, kind of varying, you know, off to one side, a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, and just a little background on our stamp. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is just take a scrap piece of basic white. And for this one, let's use lemon lime twist again. We're going to first stamp our circle. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and use Berry Burst. So this is the other color of cardstock I'm using. And we'll stamp our cupcake right in the middle like so. Love these two colors together. And then I am going to take my coordinating punch. Now this particular stamp set does come bundled with the punch. It's 2 3/8. So you may already have a circle. You could actually probably do 2 1/4 would fit that image as well. And just like that, we are ready to put our card together. Now, when I'm done with this one, I'm going to share with you several other cards. Oh, plus another tip for another card. So I like to use the Tombow Multi-Purpose Liquid Adhesive. My favorite adhesive. I will say you either have a love-hate relationship with it, and I have found that if you hate it, it's probably because you put too much and it's gooshing out on you. So put less on, and you'll be better off. You'll be more happy with it. And then I'm kind of the dimensional queen here. I love to put Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of a lot of layers, especially a card that's super simple like this one. It just makes it not so flat and adds a lot to it. So we'll peel those off, and let's stick that centered on my card front. And then we're going to take our circle that we stamped here and put dimensionals as well. Now for this one, I'm going to have that right side hanging off a little bit here, so I don't want a dimensional all the way out to the edge. And then, oops, got to peel them off first or they're not going to stick. And we're going to go like so and just stick it on there. And just like that, we have a quick and easy, cute birthday card that any brand new card maker could easily make. This is a great stamp set for beginners because you don't need a lot of product, as you saw. You could use any colors here, but it's just easy and it's cute. Now with the stamp set, you'll notice we've got quite a few different words and different images. So I want to show you how to use all these different images and come up with a couple other layout designs. Hang on one second. Let me clear this ink up so we don't make a mess. For the second card that I want to share with you, we're going to use kind of this wave image with the sun and this little ray of sun, I like to call it. So let's pick that out and put it on a little block here. Now, a little tip. I want to, you know what, I'm going to show you the card first because I'm not going to make this whole card, but I want to show you how I got these nice little rays from underneath that circle nice and even. So I figured out all my layers, what I was going to cut. This is a square, and I'll have all the measurements for everything on that blog post. And then I took a Post-it note and I punched it out with my circle punch. And when I do this, I want to make sure I get as much of the sticky part of the Post-it note as possible. And then I am going to just stick my Post-it note, eyeball it in the middle, the best that you can there. And then we're going to use Daffodil Delight for our yellow. And I am going to just stamp these rays all around. And I found if I do like the top and the bottom, and then the left and the right. And notice how I'm coming off onto my little piece of scrap paper there, but I'm also trying to get my rays out as close to the edge as I can. So that it's gonna look like it's coming out from underneath that circle. And if they overlap a little bit, that's okay. So now you can see I've got that going there. And we'll take a look at this card again, and you'll see I stamped the wave image, and then I stamped Sending You right on top of it, punched it out, popped it up with dimensionals, and now it looks like we've got our little sunny rays coming out from underneath it. So that's how I did that little tip on that one. Now, here's 2 other cards. So I actually made 4 different ones, trying to use all the different stamps, mix and matched a few different colors, cut cardstock, a few different ways, some strips of cardstock and whatever. But what I like is you could do these with absolutely any color. So this is a great stamp set for that brand new stamper. If you're a new card maker, it's a great one to get started with, and you'll have lots of fun creating lots of cards. Now, if you have any questions, make sure to reach out to us. We would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and help you purchase these products or anything else. So leave us a comment, send us an email, and don't forget the link to the coordinating blog post for this video will be in the description, and you'll get all the information about all 4 of these cards over there. So we'll be stamping again real soon. Have a stamp happy day.